happy you're here. For those of you that may not know me, I'm Brianna Beers, Brianna my friends, and I own the recently rebranded Bree Beers and Associates, formerly Lippa Beers and Associates CPA. Lippa Beers and Associates for 3 years, just changed to Bree Beers and Associates last month. So we at Bree Beers and Associates help small businesses and individuals with tax prep and tax planning. Tax planning is our jam because it's where we get to strategize with our clients and help them minimize their annual tax burden and figure out what to do with that extra cash, how to invest it back into themselves and into their business. So you might be watching this in a variety of places. If it's not in our awesome Facebook community, Money, Taxes, and Finance for Small Businesses, and you are a business owner, definitely hop on over and join that group. It's amazing. It's a supportive community, and it's great. If you are new to our Money, Tax, and Finance for Small Business group, just to let you guys know, we have 2 live sessions every week on Mondays at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is now. We do our normal weekly trainings for you. And then on Fridays, we do updates and Q&A sessions. So I do want to just start with one real quick update before we jump into extensions. For those of you that did not get a PPP loan, but maybe thought you should, or maybe thought you missed the boat, or for whatever reason, the president did sign the extension of the PPP application deadline from June 30th, which was last Tuesday, to August 8th. So you guys have, I think that was an additional 5 weeks to submit a PPP application to get in on that funding. There was still, I think, 130 billion with a B dollars available. So if that's something you missed the boat on for whatever reason, maybe you didn't know it was available, maybe you thought you didn't qualify, maybe you didn't think you needed it, but maybe now if you're somewhere where there is a chance of another shutdown, maybe you might need it. For whatever reason, if you didn't apply originally, but now you're like, maybe I should, you got some time, but get going now. We found that the best place to get these loans done quickly and without much trouble is with the online financial institutions. So like Bluevine, Cabbage, PayPal, those ones. Otherwise, if you use a smaller regional bank, they've also been really good too. We've just found that a lot of people have had some trouble with those big banks if they're not a big client. And just a few things on that, because we're talking about extensions today, I do kind of want to tell you how these tie in. Because if you are applying for a PPP loan, they do base that amount. If you are a Schedule C, if you report your business on a Schedule C, they use your 2019 Schedule C net profit to calculate your PPP loan. So if you've already filed your 19 return, you're probably not watching this training, but just maybe you are, maybe you just like hanging out with me, then you should have everything you need if you filed your 2019 return already. If you haven't filed your 2019 return and you are a Schedule C business, discuss with your bank to figure out what you need. If you need to rush your 2019 tax filing, or if they have another way of calculating your return. We do know a lot of banks have used their clients' 2018 tax return to calculate the loan amount, but just be wary if you do go this route of over or under funding. And again, today is not about PPP, but I do want to just kind of talk about this real quick. So if you use your 2018 tax return, if your bank or your lender does, they use your 2018 tax return amount, okay, you risk overfunding if you made more in 18 than in 19, which would make it harder to get full forgiveness. So just something to keep in the back of your mind. Or if you made less than 18 than you will when you file your 19 return, you might get underfunded. So you might get shorted your PPP loan amount. And as the law stands right now, you can't get a second loan. So just things to keep in mind. Maybe you need to rush your 2019 filing if you haven't done it already. I'm a proponent of rushing things, which is unfortunately why we are not taking on new clients right now. We are not taking on new clients for a July 15th filing. We are taking on new clients, and we'll start new client consultations back up in August. So if you file an extension on your 19 return and you need us to actually file your return before the extended due date of October 15th, you're good. But we are not, with 10 days left until the July 15th deadline, we are not set up in a way to onboard you that fast and rush and get your return done. That's just not how we work. That said, going back real quick just to touch on the PPP before we get into extensions, remember, you guys, even if you're a Schedule C business, right, and your PPP loan payroll amount to yourself is based on your Schedule C. If you still have employees, you get to use their W-2 wages as well. Okay, so you get to use your W-2 wages for the employees you paid plus your Schedule C profit. If you're a partnership, you're going to use your W-2 wages paid to employees, if you had any, plus your guaranteed payments to yourself, plus or to your partners, plus any net income from the partnership. And then if you're a corporation, I want you guys to remember that only W-2 wages count. Even if you're the only, let's say you have no employees and you're just an officer on, let's say, S Corp W-2 wages, you only get to use your W-2 wages that you paid to yourself to calculate that PPP loan. All right, let's get into today's topic, filing an extension. So let's start with what is an extension. All right, you hear this term thrown around. I got to file an extension, or I always file an extension, or whatever. So let's start with what it is. Filing an extension for your tax return, for your personal tax return, you guys, gives you until October 15th to file your personal tax return. So usually the due date to file either your taxes or to file an extension is April 15th, right? Tax day. This year, we all know already by now, because I've talked about it endlessly, that it's different. This year, we have until July 15th, but that is next Wednesday. Okay, so what we're saying, an extension, if you're not ready to file your tax return for whatever reason, maybe your business taxes, maybe your business books just ready yet. Maybe you're someone who files a personal return who gets a K-1 or some sort of statement from someone else and you haven't received it yet. Those are the two biggest ones. Your business is not done, or a K-1 from an investment or another partnership you're in isn't ready. Whatever the reason, there could be other reasons, but those are the two main ones. For whatever reason, you're not ready to file your actual return by next Wednesday, July 15th. So instead of filing your return, you file an extension, all right? And that extension allows you until October 15th to file your tax return. And we're gonna talk about this a few different times, but an extension, it's an extension to file. It is not an extension to pay. We'll talk about this in a few minutes, all right? But if you anticipate owing money on your tax return, we're gonna come back to that because it's not giving you an extension to pay. All right, but we'll circle back around to that. So your extension needs to either be e-filed, and I'll show you how to e-file it in a moment, or if you're mailing it in, it needs to be postmarked by July 15th to be valid. All right, postmarked. Doesn't mean in your mailbox. Okay, if you drop it in a mailbox and the mail has already been picked up and it doesn't get picked up and postmarked until July 16th, it's not valid. Okay, you're late. So the best way to do it is online, because you can get it done right like that. You don't have to worry for them to receive it. Right now, you guys, the IRS is so far behind that paper filing anything is just a hot mess. So there's really no reason not to do this electronically. All right. And in fact, electronically nowadays is probably more secure, because with the mail, mail can get lost. It right now, mail for the IRS is sitting in a mail room. All right. So who knows when they're going to open it. So if you can e-file it, all right, electronically file it if possible. And if you are already a client of ours, of Bree Beers and Associates, we'll file your extension for you. There's nothing you need to do. Our standard practice, all clients who we have a signed engagement letter for, who we haven't actually submitted their return, okay, we'll file your extension for you. All right, so this comes into play if you haven't even talked to us yet, but you're a client, we'll file it for you. Maybe we're working with you already on a return, but you're missing some stuff or you're missing some documents, we'll file that for you. Whatever, if you want to check in with us, you're more than welcome to, but know that we got your back. All right, if you're a client, and we need to file an extension for you and you want to make a payment, you got to reach out to us and let us know. So if you're not a client, we'll go over how to file your own extension in just a second. But I want to talk about extensions for your businesses real quick. Okay, so if your business, let's start with your Schedule C, right? If your business is a Schedule C, then it's not a separate return. Okay, your business is reported within your personal individual 1040, so there's nothing extra to do. You file your 1040 extension, then your business is extended as well. All right, if you're a C corporation, if your business is set up as a regular corporation, what we call a C corp, then your extensions are due on the same day. Okay, normally April 15th, this year, July 15th. Same rules, postmarked or filed. Now, if you guys are out there and you have an S Corp or a partnership, okay, you file an 1120S for your S Corp, or you file a 1065 for your partnership, then extensions were actually due back on March 15th, because those returns, your S Corp returns and your partnership returns, those returns are due on March 15th every year. All right, and we actually got the guidance about this long tax season on March 15th, or maybe it was the 16th. I don't remember, but your extension needed to be filed on March 15th to be valid. That said, the IRS has said that because of the timing of all this, they expect to be able to show some leniency if there's any late filing S corps or partnerships, but hopefully it's not an issue. Hopefully you filed your extension or you filed your business return by the deadline and you're good to go. Okay, but going forward, just know if you have an S corp or a partnership, March 15th is your filing deadline. So if you're not ready to file your business return by March 15th, you gotta file an extension. So let me talk a little bit about what an extension is not. I mentioned this already, but an extension is an extension to file your return. It's not an extension to pay. All right. So if you anticipate owing taxes, you should make, owing a liability, you should make a payment with your extension. Okay. And why is that? Because any balance that is due when you file your actual return. So let's put this in real terms. Let's say you file your extension by July 15th, you don't pay anything in, and then you file your actual return at the end of August, okay, or anytime before the October 15th deadline, and you end up owing money, that balance that wasn't paid by July 15th this year, normally April 15th, is going to incur some late payment penalties. And the late payment penalties they're 0.5% per month, so 0.5% per month, plus any interest. And the interest is calculated using whatever IRS interest rate is, and they calculate that interest rate quarterly. But you are going to have some penalties that accrue with that, okay? 0.5% per month. All right, so July 15th is our deadline. If you do not file, or if you don't pay and you end up owing and you file anytime before August 15th, you'll have 1 month worth of penalties, right? 0.5% on whatever your balance is. If you file after August 15th, but before September 15th, you'll have 2 months, et cetera, et cetera. There is a max of 25%, but it does add up, right? So if you have the money, we suggest you pay, but we'll circle back around to that. We'll break that down into some smaller steps for you. So even if you can't pay, you guys, you should still file an extension. We actually have so many people that are like, I can't pay, there's no point, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't file an extension by the due date, July 15th this year, and you end up owing money, you're not going to owe that 0.5% late payment penalty. You're going to owe a failure to file penalty, which is 5% per month. Okay, that's huge. That can just be, you can end up owing as much in penalties and interest like that as you do tax. Okay, so even if you can't pay, still file an extension. So at least you're minimizing the penalties and interest you're paying. Okay, because 5% per month failure to file, much, much more significant than 0.5% per month failure to pay. And then just to let you guys know that on a personal return, if you don't end up owing any money when you file the return, then there aren't going to be any late payment penalties or late filing penalties, actually, because those late filing and late payment calculations are all based on you owing money. So if you don't owe money, there's no penalties on a personal return. I'm going to circle back around real quick to S corps and partnerships. I know that we've already passed that, but if you are an S corp or partnership, listen up. You are going to, if you don't file your extension or your return by March 15th, or if you've extended, okay, if you've extended your deadline by that extended date, you have a failure to file penalty. All right, and that's $200 per month per partner or shareholder. Okay, that adds up so fast. So if you forget to file your extension, right, on March 15th, and you still don't, and you file on the September 15th deadline, okay, that's 6 months. If there's just you, that's $1,200 in penalties. Two of you, it adds up, right? If there's multiple partners or shareholders, because it's per month, okay? Per month, per partner. Getting that extension filed, guys, is just important. It's so easy. We're going to look at it right now just to see how ridiculously easy it is. So there is really no excuse not to file an extension if you are not ready to file by your filing dates. So let's talk about that now. How do you file an extension? Again, if you are a client of ours, we will do it for you. But again, if you want to make a payment with your extension, let us know ASAP. Otherwise, we will just file with no payment due or no payment made. Okay, if you are not a client of ours and you want to file your extension, that's what we're going to walk through right now. Okay, so again, I highly suggest you do it online, and there's the link for filing online. It's free. All right, and we will walk through we're not going to walk through the actual online filing because you have to put in a social security number and all that stuff, and I'm not going to do that, but I will walk you through the form. And if you do it online, it's the same information that you need to fill out as the form 4868, which is the form you would actually mail in if you're doing this by paper, by mail. Okay, I've put both links in there. One is the link to do this online, one is the paper link. All right, and we will actually, let me screen share, maybe this one. Nope, let's go with this one. Okay, so we're gonna go over the application it says application for automatic extension of time to file your U.S. individual income tax return. It's your extension. File your extension. All right, so let's go through this. And again, if you're doing this online, it's going to be this. It's not going to look like this form, but it's going to ask for the same information. All right, so let's start box 1, 2, and 3. That's just your vitals, right? Your name, your address, your city, your state, your zip code. Okay, and then box 2 is your social security number that matches whatever you put in part 1. And then part 3 is your spouse's social security number if you have a spouse. So a tip here, you guys, if you are married, make sure that you fill this out in the same order that you completed last year's tax return. Meaning taxpayer and spouse, make sure the taxpayer is the same and the spouse is the same. Don't switch them. It's not going to cause problems in that can't be reversed, but it will cause headaches because the system, the IRS system just doesn't deal. It doesn't know how to flip those back and forth. And we've had clients who have filled it out backwards. And even though, again, we've straightened it out, it causes headaches and it takes a lot of time to fix because it takes calls to the IRS, discussion, they got to switch it around. It especially becomes problematic if you make a payment, because if you fill this out under the spouse instead of the taxpayer, it sits in limbo and then your balance is accruing taxes or penalties and interest. And then we have to call them and we have to have them apply the payment. And then we have to remind them that there should be no penalties and interest. And it's just a hot mess. So this is super easy to make sure you alleviate those issues by just looking at your 18 return, figuring out which one of you is the taxpayer, which one of you is the spouse, and make sure boxes 1 through 3 are filled out the same way. All right. If you moved, you can update your address here. That's fine. But just making sure your name and your social are the same order, taxpayer, spouse, as your 2018 tax return. So line 4 says estimate of total tax liability for 2019. Okay, and I do not want you to just put a 0 here if you're not making a payment, all right, because it's not right. So you use your best judgment here, and at the very least, again, I want you to look at your 2018 tax return, and at the very least, use it's line 15 of your 2018 tax return. It'll show your tax liability for 18. Put that number on line 4 of your 2019 extension if you have nothing else to go on. Okay, now I know a lot of people file an extension, they've already put all their stuff into TurboTax maybe, but they just realize they're missing one piece of information, so they don't want to file. So you might be able to put a better estimate in box 4 of your 2019 tax liability, depending on how much work you've done on your 19 return. Okay, but if you've done nothing for your 19 return, so you have no idea what your 2019 tax picture looks like, then I want you to look at your 2018 tax return and use line 15 and put that in line 4 of your extension for the 2019. Okay. Box 5 says your total 2019 payment. So how much have you already paid in taxes? And again, this part's super easy because it's going to be your W-2 withholdings from any W-2s you have, and it's going to be your estimated tax payments if you made any, which you should have those records of, and it shouldn't be hard to find those. All right. You may or may not have withholding from other sources of income as well, but those are the 2 common ones. So put that number in there. Again, you're using your best guess. And then that will calculate, you subtract line 5 from line 4, and that your balance due. Okay, that's saying this is the amount you anticipate owing when you file your actual tax return. Okay, it's your best guess, your best estimate. Okay, and at that point, then you have to decide, do you have the funds to pay that full balance due that you're anticipating? Do you have no money to pay right now, so you're not going to pay anything, or can you pay a portion of it? Okay, and that's what line 7 is going to be. Okay, so line 7 is what are you paying today when you file this return? Okay, and again, this can be 0, and it could be 0 if you don't anticipate owing anything, meaning line 6 is 0, or it can be 0 no matter, you may have $1 million sitting on line 6, and you can still choose to pay nothing in today. All right, again, you're going to end up, if you end up owing all that money that's on line 6, you'll have that late payment penalty assessed, but you don't have to pay anything. There's nothing that says if you don't pay anything today, we're going to, come arrest you or not accept your return. Okay. It's just, this is giving you a little idea of what to expect when you actually file your tax return. Okay. And then remember again, that even if that line in if that number in line 6, even if you can't pay that whole amount today, or maybe you're like, that seems a little high. I don't think I'm going to make that much this year. I bet I end up making a little bit less, for whatever reason that you decide. If you decide not to pay that amount calculated on line 6 in full, any amount you pay will help minimize your taxes or your penalties. All right. So let's say line 6 says I'm going to owe $10,000, but I only have $5,000 today. I can pay in that $5,000. And then if I do end up owing another $5,000 when I file, I'll have a lot less penalties and interest to pay that have accrued. And you guys, I don't know if anyone in here has to worry about 8 or 9, boxes 8 or 9 on this extension. If you do, if you're an out of the country U.S. citizen, or if you're a non-resident. Box 9 is a non-resident. That's it. It's a 1/4 of a page form, super easy to fill out. And you guys, filling it out wrong is going to be better than not filling it out at all. Okay, because I'm going to circle back around to those penalties. All right, a failure to file penalty is 5% per month on what you end up owing when you file your tax return. Okay, and even if you don't plan on owing anything, still file it. It does not hurt to file this. All right, if you are not going to file your actual return by July 15th, there is zero harm in filing this form. All it's going to do is allow you extra time. Because think about it. Let's say you're like, I never owe money. There's no, Bree said that if I don't owe money, there's no penalties. So I never owe money. So I'm going to save myself time and not fill this out. I'm just going to not worry about it. And I'll file in September when I have time. Okay, well, let's say something changed this year. For some reason, you end up owing money this year. And now you have this failure to file penalty of 5% instead of the failure to pay penalty of 0.5% per month. And all it would have taken you, guys, I don't see this form taking you more than 30 minutes to fill out. And I'm guessing it's going to take you about 10 minutes. So there's zero harm in filing it. So yeah, that's it. That is how you're going to file your extension. If you have any questions about this, you guys, make sure you post it in the group. Don't post it in the comments here, because what happens, you guys, is when I have a day, because I'm only on social media once a day now, and that's just to check and see if there's any time pressing questions or concerns, because we have this deadline coming up. So your best bet, if you're watching this on anywhere, actually, no matter where you're watching this, your best bet to get your question answered is to post a comment in the Money, Taxes, and Finance for Small Business group. All right, not a comment, not a response to this video. Post your own actual comment. That is how you file an extension. Again, if you are a client of ours, you do not need to worry about it. We will take care of it for you. But if you're not, super easy to do. And if you need any help, I can answer any questions you have. Have a good one, you guys. Have a good week.